This is Stephanie, and this is the Mocha Minutes Podcast. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just want to let you know about something that's a little new here at the Mocha Minutes Podcast. We are now participating in Buy Me a Coffee. So if you haven't heard, buymeacoffee.com is a place where you can show some support and some love monetarily to some of your favorite content creators. That includes me. So it's in the increments of either $1, $3, or $5, and you can do as many as you would like. So I just wanted to let you guys know, would love some support. So if you would go to buymeacoffee.com/Mocha Minutes, I would greatly appreciate it. It will also be in the show notes. Okay, here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Mocha Minutes Podcast. I am Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me. I sound a little bit better, y'all. I traveled through my depressive episode. I'm a little bit peppy, but I'm also peppy because of who I am on this podcast with. I have been on her podcast. I have followed her. I keep sliding in her DMs like a creep because every time I see something, I'm like, girl.
We got a group chat now too.
We do. It's like, it's so bad. I'm like, girl, tell me something. Let me know. I'm like, get out of my brain. But I have Selle from Who Asked Me podcast. I asked her. That's who. So if she says, who asked me? Stephanie.
It's so funny. First of all, hello everybody. It's so funny now because I made that name up. Like I had another name kind of along the same lines, but I can't remember what it originally started as. And like through doing research, I found, some other podcasts, some other pages that were a little too similar to it. And I knew that I wanted a name that didn't have Bravo in it. Cause I wanted to, in case I want to switch it up one day, you know what I mean? But it's so funny when I chose that name, I kind of chose it out of a place of self-doubt of like, so I'm just going to beat everybody to the punch of when I start commenting on things and everybody be like, who the fuck asked this? Who is this girl? Like da. It's me. I already beat you to the punch. You already know. So next question. Thank you. Thank you. Another one. Thank
you. Obviously. But
now it takes on, everybody thinks it's funny now. And it is funny. It is funny.
Like,
but that's where it came from.
I did. I asked Giselle, okay? It's the Giselle that I stand. Y'all know I say that I am in the Green Dot Bandit Society. However, y'all know where I be. Hashtag Dixon District. That's where I sit. Okay?
Look, your girl showing up to do a little something this season. It might be.
Watch this.
Watch
this. It's like, you tell you something. I'm like, not my Baltimore girl going, y'all want to discuss? I don't think that's what's happening. I'm like, thank you, bring back my Robin. That I'll be like, y'all have no idea why I stand this lady. She one of my faves on Potomac. It's the best ensemble on Bravo. Fight me. Fight me. Go ahead and fight me. You'll lose.
My heart was filled with pure joy when those ladies were back on Sunday. Like, really, honestly, truly. I just loved them.
I was like, I needed this back on. I'm like, even like whoever you're like disdain for somebody with a forehead or the little girl that caught, and I'm saying little girl, she ain't a little girl, but the lady with the big mouth that sing, or the lady who can't dress, but her daughters be like, girl, get your shit together. And she go, okay, I guess I need to get my shit together. Or that lady who got better glue for her wig. Don't care who y'all stand. All of them come to play. I'm all for this show. Hashtag Potomac. Since day one, I'm like, this is my shit.
Karen's the one with the better glue, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the real Grand Dame has come back. Why y'all like Charisse? Because the Grand Dames, I feel like Grand Dames are kind of mean. So, but also full disclosure, I've met Charisse. She's extremely nice.
I bet she is. Oh no, I bet she is
so nice.
Just like people say, Kyle is like one of the nicest housewives, in. Like to meet when they meet in person, I bet she is. I'm not doubting that whatsoever.
She is a sweetheart. I'm like,
I have to say this often. I'm sure she is a nice woman. Okay. When she meets fans, apparently she's really gracious to fans. I hope you're not rude to fans like you're rude to your castmates. I don't want you to be rude to anybody like you're rude to your castmates,
Oh, Lord.
like just say it. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Y'all, I've had a day, so I'm feeling a little on edge. Okay.
See, and we haven't even told you why Giselle is here. So if y'all don't know, Stephanie is a Bravo holic. This is not a Bravo podcast, but I dip into the Bravo pond. I love talking about Bravo. I like talking about everything. Taria's listening to this. She's like, yep, she does, because she can talk about this. And I'll be like, damn, I don't know what the hell Taria's talking about. Damn, I gotta go do some research. Okay, now I can talk about it. See, that's how I feel. Taria be hyping me up like Stephanie can talk about this. I can. Give me 20 minutes. Okay, I can. Okay, I'm ready. But I have asked Giselle to come here because Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which has spent a few seasons of we got one storyline, and that's what we gonna focus on. Not this year, bitch. They are literally going back to vintage Beverly Hills. We are at the reunion, and I asked Zell to come here to talk about part 1 of 3.
We got to do 3 of these. Like,
I'm just like, so,
and
did you watch Dallas?
Yes and no and yes.
So
mostly yes.
Remember Leanne's last reunion where they had like one part and then the second part was like 90 minutes. I'm like, y'all don't want to do that. I feel like that's a good, it's kind of like, y'all cutting down because y'all don't have the advertisers, but I guess we allegedly cover everything. Y'all could do like one whole hour and then a supersized episode, and I feel like y'all would get the same thing. But y'all want all the money for Beverly Hills because we watch those rich ladies.
And celebrities watch Beverly Hills more than anything. And
Lord,
I have been like when people have been like, why does the celebrity, John Hamm, for example, the latest one, said when he said, well, I don't watch Atlanta. Now, he did say, I can't remember what big word he used, but he used some word to describe it. He said, oh, I find it, whatever, insert word there. And I said, okay, but I think the reason a lot of celebrities and famous people watch Beverly Hills and, somewhat New York, but Beverly Hills especially, is because they have access to these people. They have, they know things. All right. Yeah. And it's like how we feel about watching them. They like to watch these people. You know what I mean? True. And it's, I'm being watched all the time. People want to hear about me. I want to see about these people, and they have access to them. So that's why I think more famous people watch Beverly Hills. And then same kind of thing with New York. There's not that they know them, because none of those women are necessarily celebrities, but there's access to them in New York.
Right. And the thing about it is, because it's like literally that's how Renna got on this show. She was a super fan of Bravo, then all of a sudden she on the show.
A super fan. Never mind.
Exactly, because it's like Homegirl was like a staple, kind of like the Jerry O'Connell of it all, a staple, or like that man who played Remy and
We're not going to talk about him.
We're not talking about, not even Bruno. That's just disrespectful to Bruno to even say his name like that. But yeah, it's kind of like she was a super fan. She was always at Watch What Happens Live. Then all of a sudden they're like, maybe you should like try out for the show. Well, she lives near Beverly Hills. Harry Hamlin does the acting. It'll work. And I'm like, how did it turn Beverly Hills turn into this is where actresses come? It's like, and it didn't start that way.
With Lisa Rinna, and everyone has been saying this. This is not my, my own opinion or an original thought, I should say. But I agree with it, is that Lisa Rinna has always been, I think, a caricature of herself, probably. If I had to guess, I don't know if I had to guess, but she is, if not, she has definitely become one. Okay. She has definitely become one now, because she thinks that she is the character. Lisa Rinna thinks she is Lisa Rinna of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Okay. It's consumed her, because I could not tell you the most recent thing on Lisa Rinna's resume before Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I knew who she was. Okay. I knew who she was, but I couldn't tell you what she was doing before she got on here. She plotted, she schemed, she got here, she's here to stay. She is the cockroach of Beverly Hills. We are never going to rid of her, I fear.
So this is what I knew about Lisa Rinna, because it's kind of like if you were someone who watched like daytime soaps, you have the
Mhm.
ones that you watch. She wasn't on the ones that I watched. Hence why I was very excited when Eileen Davidson got on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills,
Mhm.
because I was like, is that Ashley Abbott? Bitch. Is that
Mhm.
Ashley? So I was very excited. What I knew about Lisa Rinna is that she was on Melrose Place.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
the only thing I knew. I'm like, the lady with the big lips, and she was on that. Oh, okay. So to see her go from that to she is the lady on Beverly Hills, and Drake, Champagne Pappy follows her. I'm like, so girl, shut the hell up. Just be
Still,
quiet.
I
Just be quiet.
still, I don't know.
Yeah. So part one has started. If you would have told me that Jamie Lee Curtis would come to the reunion, I'd be like, girl, why? And then it's like, wait, Kyla's in 3.5 minutes of her new movie. Of course she's going to come here. And so I'm kind of glad that there was no Jamie sit here and ask them questions. Oh,
Question.
was she?
Are you a horror movie fan?
I am a big horror movie fan.
So you can tell me, does Kyle play like her daughter or something?
So in the original one, Jamie Lee Curtis played her babysitter.
Mm.
So now I think, because I haven't watched the new one yet, the Halloween finally ends. Because I mean, H2O, like no, all tea, all shade. Halloween H2O should have literally been the end of this fucking franchise. I was like, what the fuck do you mean we got three of a goddamn? Y'all get on my damn nerves. Anywho, yeah. So Laurie Strode played whatever Kyle's character's name. That was her babysitter.
And she was the original Halloween because
Mm-hmm.
let me make something clear.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle is so good at making it seem like she was in the beginning parts of the credits of these movies and shows that she used to be in when really she was middle to end.
Child, let me tell
So
you something. She is an actor. She is a
did she
thespian.
yes, she is an actress. Okay, she goes on movie sets and has lines and plays a character that's not herself. She acts. Okay. That is not something that I am denying.
Great.
But my question is, the original movie, was she a standout character? Would we call that her breakout role?
No. So the
Okay.
thing about it is, I didn't know she was in the movie till Kyle mentioned. I'm like, oh, because it's
Until
like
she beat it
it's
into our
from the
brains.
'70s. I'm like, girl, I barely remember the first Halloween. Mind you, I watched Halloween versus like the Friday the 13th movies, hence why I don't know too much about them. Because it was like weird to say either you liked Friday the 13th or you liked Halloween, and I picked Halloween for some god awful reason.
Because here's the thing with me and Kyle. Like, it's not when she was introduced to us on season 1 of The Housewives of Beverly Hills, like over a decade ago. I could have had a whole family by now. She was not introduced as an actress.
No.
She was not introduced as an actress. She said, I believe
No.
I've done some acting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, I can't
Now
wait for you
you
to
are
say it. I can't
now
wait for you
you're
to say it.
now you're getting roles
Mm-hmm.
because you have become the Kyle Richards of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you are being asked to reprise a role that once was not that big. Please make no mistake. If Kyle was not on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, they would not have brought that character back.
I'm just saying.
And I feel like she might have made a call to be able to make that.
She did. Because I'm sitting here like, because here's the thing about when Kyle like started, I was, because one, this is what I knew Kyle Richards as Paris Hilton's aunt.
I didn't know her as anything.
That's the thing, because I watched like, it was like, the behind the, I think the True Hollywood Stories, they had one. Oh, she was all over that. I think they had like 2 different specials about Paris. Oh, Kyle was always there. I'm like, isn't that Paris Hilton's aunt?
And then
like,
she has the audacity to say, "I'm tired of being referred to as Paris's aunt," but you
bitch,
are.
that's what
And
we knew.
You told us that over and over. You told us that so much. I remember one time she said, actually, me and Paris actually look more alike than her and her mom. If we turn aside, look at us. And I want to make something clear, okay? Because I've been seeing some people get some things confused. All right. And I cannot stress this enough. I'm not like Kathy Hilton's an icon. Kathy Hilton, Kathy, Team Kathy, conga line, whatever. I'm not. I'm just, facts are facts. Okay. So people have been saying Kathy Hilton's evil. Of course, she uninvited Kyle to her daughter's wedding. That's not what happened. As a person who just got married, the wedding was no kids because of wherever they got married at. There was no children allowed or whatever. Kyle there was an age limit at the time. Kyle at the time had 2 children under that age limit. Their older sister, the oldest one, that's not actually Mauricio's, was in the wedding because her and Nikki are close. Okay. And then the second oldest one, she was there too. Okay. Now Mauricio didn't go because there was still bad blood between him and Rick and Kathy. All right. And then so he stayed home with the younger 2. Then Kyle and Kathy kept getting into it and not getting into it because Kyle was perpetuating that. And this part I'm not 100% on, but Kyle kept saying, well, why can't my kids come? Why can't my kids come? Making it a bigger deal. Because I remember reading this article, because I remember thinking, damn, that's crazy. They invited half of her family and not. And then I remember somebody like came out and spoke and said, no, where they got married is no kids allowed. If Nikki could change that, she would. But they got married. And I mean, she married a Rothschild. You know what I mean? So they got married in some fancy schmancy building in England. I don't fucking know. I'm not a history buff. Okay. And there were the rules of that to get married there. It's no children. That's why. But make no mistake, because the Real Housewives, the other housewives, were still trying to say, oh, Kathy's so horrible. How could she uninvite? And Kyle did nothing to clean it up. But make no mistake, she got on that plane, hopped her ass across the motherfucking pond, and was still there for her photo op because she would not miss the fact that she was at not only Nikki Hilton's wedding, but Nikki Hilton's wedding to a Rothschild. Okay. Please, let's be very clear. While we talk about Big Kathy and what she did and did not do to those girls, and we all hear the rumors, Kyle is not. I hate when people talk about Kyle as if she's freed from some of that. They were taught to chase fame, and every single last one of them do just that in a different way. This is the fame that Kyle has chosen and that she has found and that she has been successful with. Okay. Yeah. I say y'all just be saying anything on Beyonce's internet.
It's like if I'm being completely honest, Kim, Paris, and Nikki look similar. I'm like, you don't look. I'm like, no, that's really Kim Richards, and it's not even just the blonde hair. It's literally also the bone structure.
When Kathy was younger, like younger pictures of Kathy, I see Paris.
Yeah.
Like when she's young, I see Paris. But yes, you're right. Kim, yeah, I think she looks like, and it's crazy. That's how genetics works. My husband's brother has a child, and he looks just like my husband. The child looks just like my husband. Oh, yeah, like when he was a baby.
Isn't that crazy? How and
my brother
members just look alike. You're like,
and my brother-in-law and my husband look similar. They look similar. I don't think they look like strikingly alike, but they look similar. But like that baby looks like, you held up baby pictures of my husband to our nephew. He looks more like his uncle than he does his dad. To me.
That is wild, because my nephew, like when he was smaller, my uncle found an old picture of my dad when he's a kid, and it is creepy how much he looks. I'm like, what in the hell? You and Christopher, like, I remember telling my dad, I'm like, you and Christopher really is your grandson, because he looks just like you. I'm like, this is actually like, wow, he really looks like you more than he looks like my brother. And like, he looks like my brother. But it was just weird watching really like child photos of my dad. I'm like, oh my God, look, it's Christopher. It's back with you. I'm sorry. I'm like reminiscing about my nephew, who is very much into group hugs right now. Oh, like if somebody is like my mother, because my mother's birthday was Wednesday, and so we're going out, and like my brother hugged her, and then he came up, and then he stepped back so I can get in. I'm like, oh, I guess we're doing a group hug. I'm like, okay, we're doing group hugs now. I'm like, this is extremely cute. He's like, so when we're like hugging, he's like, ah! I'm like, what the hell? But it's that's cute. So stinking cute. Okay, let us dive into part 1 of the. Okay, I'm not talking about the fashions. Everybody's talking about the fashions, but I'm glad that my girl Garcelle, because I think she also either commented this on Instagram or tweeted, said this is a sit down dress. Yes, my
it is.
dear.
It is.
Absolutely
It is. Okay. I will say this. Almost every reunion, there is a person that I'm like, what the fuck do they have on?
Yes.
But when they sit down and
like,
listen, y'all, that's why I'm not a housewife. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When Garcelle was sitting down, I said, oh, I see what you did there,
Sitting
mama.
pretty, okay?
I bet you,
pretty.
I'm sure if I ever got the chance, if I was a housewife and it came to picking the fashions, I'm sure a stylist would snatch me up and say, no, you are sitting down. You are not wearing that. Okay. I will give it to her. Garcelle, she turned it for me because it's a sit down dress.
Oh my God, it is. I was like, oh, she looks so cute. To a certain extent, Kyle's dresses somewhat sit down or go to hell. I don't know what it is. Sutton actually looked better sitting down. I still didn't like her look, but it was better sitting down.
Somebody said that her hair looked better. I said, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, someone said that Dorit's hair looks like her dress is not a sit down dress. I'm like, yeah, but most of Dorit's stuff is not sit down attire.
Dorit has a side braid in her hair. I'm not gonna lie to you. Dorit usually turns out a look. It's not because one thing I love is that hair. Dorit's hair in last year's reunion was a contender for me for wedding hair because she looked
it was
good.
So cute.
It was so pretty. It was gorgeous. Okay. I don't like the bitch, but it was gorgeous.
It was super cute. She's like, I have to turn and look. I'm like, he's like, you always give us crazy hair. I'm like, oh yeah, because she put like 70. She put Teresa to shame with all the little pins in her head. I'm like,
look pissed me off.
I was like, why? I don't understand. Who is sitting there going, you know what we're gonna do? A high pony, and then we're gonna hit you with all these pins in your head.
And
I thought this was cute.
I said this on Instagram when the looks came out. My thing with Sutton, the ponytail itself, just the physical ponytail, not everything leading up to it. The ponytail, fine, is fine. Yeah. And if we were going to, because y'all, I did used to do hair. I did hair for 5 years. I passed my state boards. Okay. I did a lot of weddings. I did a lot of styles and a lot of updos. So this right here, y'all may be like, who asked her? This right here, I got this. Okay. I know what I'm talking about. The hair with Sutton is the ponytail should have either had more, either way, she needed more volume. The ponytail should have had the physical ponytail, more volume, less of the hair wrapped around, so less of that, okay, because that's what it is. That part that the hair that's wrapped around, it's overpowering the ponytail, and then her hair is slicked back. Okay, we needed some texture in the root. Okay, and some texture up top, and to take down.
Let me just write this down because that's the show title: Texture in the Root.
Okay. That is what we needed, the slick, and because like you can do a slicked back look and then a wild, ponytail in the back, right. But it must be done right, and that was not right. And also the ponytail length.
So glad you bring that up about her.
The ponytail length.
Sutton could handle some bundles.
She should have had bundles.
Sundle has the Sutton has the bone structure for bundles, and I don't know why we don't do this.
Because she's a tiny woman.
She's a tiny woman.
She's got very small arms and very tiny legs, as we know. Because if you kick her to tell her she is not getting the joke, she will bruise and bring it on.
Ankle is broken.
I have very frail legs. I'm very tiny.
She is really tiny, but like you look at her head, like, girl, we could put at least not the whole 27 pieces, but 23 pieces in your head, and it would look really cute. She can handle the bundles.
She doesn't need like Erica bundle. That's not what I'm talking about. I would have loved to see, even because she got about a 12-inch ponytail in her hair right now. Correct. I would love to see Sutton with like a 16-inch. Actually, we're gonna do this: a 16 and 2/18.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Is like I could see her with a high pony and a slick braid coming down the side, and it would work for her. I'm like, who is telling you, girl? If y'all put some hair in this woman's head, please,
okay,
please,
some zhuzh.
Please,
Okay.
I'm like, even if you got to put the bundles in when she's sitting on that couch, so then you're like, we got to do her hair here because she ain't gonna be able to move. If we do it in there, and she got to walk in, she might topple over. It's like, no, like put the bundles in when you get there.
It gave me homecoming, like your freshman homecoming when you don't really know
Yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah,
That's what the hair gave me. It was
yeah,
almost right. It was almost right.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't, and I think, I mean, Crystal for me looked the best.
I love the
Even
yellow
sitting
on her.
down,
I love the yellow on
I
her.
think she looked gorgeous. Okay. I like that Crystal's not going to waver from
Mm-hmm.
this is me. This is what I'm comfortable in.
Yeah, because I was like, it's her hair
Okay.
is the same. I'm like, her hair looks fine. They're like, she doesn't have a lot of makeup on. I'm like, could you
She
imagine
doesn't
what
want
she
to.
looks like? Could you imagine her walking in looking like a Kardashian? It's like it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
work. But I was like, I thought Crystal looked the best
I
because it
think so.
still
I
was
think so
like
too.
remaining to her, but the color was good on her. The fit was good on her. It's like I thought she looked fine. I'm like, Garcelle sitting down, snatched. Fuck Renna. I don't even want to talk about your ass and your fuck her. I'm not doing this with you.
Mm-hmm. And
And
I mean,
whatever, it's like fuck
I will say
Diana
this.
and those like pink cheeks that she had on her face. It's like, girl, I was so sick.
She
Did
had
put
a
on a
filter on
mask.
too. Somebody put a filter on. She, whatever
You could
Zoom she called in
tell.
on, because her nose was gone.
It was like, are we doing a filter? Are you on
Mm-hmm.
an Instagram cam? What the hell?
Yeah. Now Kyle's hair and makeup looks good.
I
I said
really
this on
like
my
that.
podcast. She looks good. Okay. A serve is a serve is a serve, babe. That photo shoot with Mike Ruiz that everybody is, sharing it right now. She looks
Ooh,
good. I'm not good. I'm no hater.
I'm not either because it was like they're like, oh my god, I hate cat cow thing. It's like she looks like a backpack. I kind of look. This is probably one of my
No, I
better
think she looks
Kyle
really
reunion
good.
looks. Like Kyle's usually either
The
or a little bit.
outfit.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my thing. I those buckles, the snaps or whatever, the backpack fasteners,
Mm-hmm.
those drive me crazy. And because of where they are placed, it does look like
She has a
me
backpack.
personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that I didn't think of the backpack thing, but I kept looking at her and wanting to be like, do those snap? Like, do they actually come off? Because I think the dress without those would be really fucking cute. It's like, so they got done. Okay. They
Mm-hmm.
got done designing the dress and they
Mm-hmm.
said, one more thing. And it's like, okay, a rhinestone and this, what do we think it needs? And somebody just said, a backpack, whatever what is that? A buckle? I don't know what to call that. It's just, I was like, and somebody was like, okay, the dress itself is fine. That little accessory to the sun, but her hair, her makeup, it
I thought
looks really
she
good.
looks so cute. I'm like, it's interesting. I'm like, I didn't mind like the somewhat blonde hair. I
I
like
like
the
it.
color. It's like because for me, usually Kyle is middle ground or towards the bottom, and I was like, she actually
Uh,
kind of gave me
yeah.
a look.
And all of her work has finally set in. She looks good. The
Yeah,
facelift, the nose drop, she
because apparently
looks good. The lift.
she also said she got a reduction too. I'm like,
I've
what?
never, the way I heard her say that, and I realized I have
Like,
never paid attention to that woman's
I have
breasts
never paid attention to your breasts at all. I've
ever.
noticed like your hair, your nose, that you can do the splits at your big ass age, which I'm like, work, bitch,
Weird.
go ahead right ahead. But it was like reduction. The hell? What?
Yeah,
I've never looked at your boobs a day in my life, but
I literally said, I said, the way I just realized I have never,
never paid that attention. I'm like,
even looked at
and they were
Kyle's
like, oh, it
breast.
looks so good. I'm like, so y'all been looking at her tits and I just missed it. Okay. I didn't
I'm,
realize it was like, I didn't realize it was a conversation. I'm like,
I
okay.
couldn't even think about seeing her in a swimsuit. I said, because that's what I started thinking. I said, well, have I
But
ever
then you realize
seen
she'd
her
be
in a
like, oh, I
swimsuit?
got to cover up because I'm a mother and give me a moo. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, you okay? All right. All right, Kyle. All right. So Jamie Lee Curtis, Olive, love. She looks amazing for her age. Then we get into the meat and potatoes. And for some reason, we're starting with the whole thing with Jack's Garcelle's son. I was sitting here like, Andy, why are you highlighting the woman? Oh, you're the first person to speak out. She also was one of the first people to say, what is the point of me saying anything at all?
Thank you. Thank
And I
you,
was like,
Stephanie.
why the fuck
Because
are you highlighting? I'm
exactly.
like, why are you highlighting this shit?
And I forgot because I really, and that's at that point right there. I said, I knew that, okay, we're not doing anything with Rena. She's going to continue to terrorize us. And so now the onus is on me to decide what I want to do moving forward with this shit. But back to that, I was so fucking irritated that Andy did that because we're leaving. It's driving me quite mad how we are conveniently, and I mean Andy Cohen, Bravo editors, Bravo producers, things like that. We are leaving off key bits of information, like Brenna, you were the first one to say something about it, but also you were also the first person to take it down and say this doesn't do anything. And what you took down, you posted that was posted on her story. Bravo's repost, what Bravo posted and everybody reposted, that was an actual post on the grid she took down. So now if you went to look for it, it looks like Renna doesn't say anything. Okay.
And she's like, I archived it. I'm like, huh.
And why did you archive it? Because you said it doesn't matter, it doesn't do anything. And this is another thing I need to make very clear. It irritated me that I did not feel like they did Jax or Garcelle gave them any grace or any justice, because I said this when it was all happening. We are grouping these grown women and adults, okay, with this horrific thing that was said to a child about a woman on TV show. Now, I feel like I have to say this, I have to put my disclaimers out. I am not doubting that every single one of those women on the stage get terrible messages, because for whatever reason, that is the world we live in, and I don't agree with it. I would never, ever, ever message a reality star, anybody, anything like that. Right. But when it came to the messages that Portia was getting, and again, I'm sure there could be some heinous ones that are ridiculous. Right. You should not be talking to these kids about their parents' jobs, okay? But the one they chose to highlight with Portia, and why I choose to think that, okay, if were Portia's as bad as Jax, is because I feel like Kyle would have told us. She would have showed us, okay? And they would have showed us because they prioritize Portia over Jax, but that's a different story. The one that they showed us about Portia was, your mom's a bully. Do I think that they should have sent that to that child? No. But she is. What was said to Jax, what was said
so
to Jax
different
is so fucking horrific, no matter which way you put it, no matter whether or not you add Diana's name or pencil it out. But just so we're clear, the reason that it is important for Diana's name to stay in it is because no one else's name was in it. No. You're talking about kneeling on my son's neck, and then you mention somebody who I'm on the cast with in a good light, because you say that you're saying this because I need to leave her alone. But I'm not doing anything to this lady. That's why your name was left in it. And no, Diana, I don't fucking need to come into your savior or anything else. I really don't. She can take that motherfucking bullshit. My family has been threatened before. I've had family members die. So have I. I have had family members killed before.
And this is the thing. So yeah, because we're going to jump around. So when they're talking about this at the beginning, she's talking about an investigation. Bravo, Andy and Bravo and their statement, and like, I'm sorry, but you can choke. Then you have Diana talking about, I mean, these are real threats. Your text of a threat to her was like, if something happens to my family, I'm coming after you. And you were trying to downgrade it and say, oh, I was just talking about my lawyer. She don't know what the fuck that means, miss. I'm from Bosnia and I know people and I've seen people killed and I know what this is like. I'm like, excuse me. And that's something I must have blocked out when Garcelle said they sent her Playboy pictures to her son. Why would you do something? I'm like, wait, I don't remember this. It was like, Diana, this is not the same thing.
It's not.
The thing about it is, if these are just bots for one, he's like, why would you think that? Because your name is the only
attached
name
to them
was mentioned.
They're attached to a lot of them. A lot of them say Diana, 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 Diana,
like,
Diana.
Girl, what did you want her to
and we
think?
just didn't say that. We just did not say that at all. What do you mean? If somebody sends me a message and says, Giselle, you are so gross, you should be punched in the face for how you are, and if you don't leave Stephanie alone, I'm going to come punch you in the face. I'm going to be like, so Stephanie got something to do with this.
Right. And the thing about it is like, ma'am, if that is the case, Renna should not have been the first person to say something. It should have been you. It's like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but this is not okay. And please leave her alone.
And even Diana saying, like, Garcelle already told us, she said, I have my lawyers are investigating it. We have an open investigation. Oh, I will hire lawyers. I will do it because I have the money to do so. Mama, what you saying? Because Garcelle's booked and busy and she's been booked and busy. Okay, so please don't play with me. I don't know if you understand what you just said, riddled in a fucking microaggression within itself. And I know you don't know what that means because you're from Bosnia and there's apparently no racism there. I don't know what a black content creator is. I don't know what this is. That was a load of fucking shit. That was a load
She
of
was so
shit.
full of shit. And I was like, see, the thing about it is like, it wasn't racist. I'm like, yeah, it kind of is racist for you to equate black to dark, toxic, or mean. It's like, girl, that is old school racism
and let
and
me
microaggressions.
And let me just break something down for y'all. I used to live overseas. Did I live in Bosnia? No, but I've lived overseas in different countries. Okay. Let me tell you one thing, one word that is universal is black when it comes to people. Another word that is universal is the N word. I'm not going to say it on this platform, but it is the N word. Okay. I have lived in Germany and I've been called the N word by a German person. I have been to Prague. I have been called the N word I've been to Paris rather. I'm sorry. And called an N word by a Parisian person.
Oh,
okay. Italians, everything. Everybody knows that word. So don't start with me. Okay. Everybody. You knew what you were talking about, Diana. Okay, I'm so tired of this. I'm not from America. I don't know.
So
I don't know
anything. It's like
Garcelle is
full
Haitian.
of shit.
Garcelle is Haitian.
So you don't think she knows?
Diana has lived in this country for a good amount of she know a little bit more than y'all think she know.
She's like, y'all giving her a little bit of, well, English is, I'm like, girl, shut the hell up. She's lived in this country for a little bit too long. Please stop thinking racism is just an American thing. Girl,
it's not.
It's not.
It is not absolutely not.
So what is wrong with you? So the fact that they brought the black content creators, and also, sidebar, Philly Diva was at BravoCon and she was watching this reunion going, I know she is not sitting here. You're trying to just like, basically y'all tried to like sanitize this. It's like, no. Of all the people that was saying stuff about Diana, saying stuff to Diana, she only went after her.
Yep.
It was like, wait a minute, hold up. You are not going over these big white Bravo content creators because they also had some shit to say about you. You didn't come after them. And you capitalized the B in black. You can literally, girl, and sell me your book. Don't sell me this bullshit.
Philly Diva is not, she just reposted something.
That
she just reposted
it. Thing. I'm like, girl, who are you playing with? And it's like, no. So for her to say, you're not even focusing on the fact that Garcelle was talking, does Garcelle need to cry for real tears for y'all to recognize that her, like, this literally is her fucking kid? Because y'all only saw her as human. Folks. Right. See, that's why I was like, when they, oh my God, I'm so glad she's crying. Why she got to shed a tear for y'all to recognize your humanity, for y'all to actually recognize it? So it's like, man, you're talking about my family could have been killed. I'm like, we got death threats. They came after her 14-year-old child. And it's like you had no, like, you didn't even care. You're like, well, why didn't you tell him to take it down? I'm not telling him to do shit. And that was not from Garcelle's page. That is from his page. He's 14. You wanted her to actually go, you could have just penciled out my name. Why?
I'm not thinking about you. My child just got a message that said if it wasn't for his white father, he would kneel on his neck. You understand that we literally have black men dying because they have knees on their necks. I don't, what the fuck are you even talking about? And
so there was something that I was like, when I saw it, I kind of went, hold on that glasses. Because Kyle was inserting herself and it was what she said. I'm saying this is what she meant. And I was like, time out, Doogie, time out. 20 minutes before that, you telling Crystal she got to say exactly what she means.
And now you have all the time.
You got all the time to understand maybe this is what she meant to say, when you would not extend that to Crystal when she wasn't even fucking talking to you.
At all. And let's be clear, because I want to touch on this. Had we let Crystal finish any of the sentences she started and was asked by the host, maybe we would have a better understanding. Now, I feel very bad because I feel like these women shake Crystal easily. And I don't mean shake as in like scared, but I feel like they throw her off because they rapid fire. They are, but what about this? But what about this? But what about this?
On her like
we could do the whataboutisms with almost everybody up on this stage. Lisa, we post yours like almost every fucking week, babes. We
Every
post yours
single.
every other week. Erica, same thing. Kyle, same thing. You just had a couple this season when you said it was bogus and bullshit for Sutton to bring up her miscarriages, but then Crystal brought up her eating disorder and you inserted yourself about yours. What about that?
Yeah, and the thing about it, she's like, "Oh yeah, it was bad. I shouldn't have did that." Bitch, turn your head toward something and said, "I am sorry for doing that to
And
you."
not only that, did you feel this way? Because I felt this way.
Mm-hmm.
I felt because I had to watch like the end of Watch What Happens Live before I started Beverly Hills Reunion. I felt like I saw Kyle say a few things and she had answered two questions to where she said, well, the margaritas at Garcelle's birthday party, the margaritas at Garcelle's birthday party. Mama, nobody made you drink a margarita. Nobody made you go to Garcelle's birthday party. You keep bringing up these things, these nouns. Okay, these nouns, the place, the thing. Like that adds to the story. You were drunk. Okay. You were at Garcelle's birthday. Okay.
And that makes it okay.
Nouns. Girl. Nouns that don't matter. Okay.
Because the thing about it is like when Crystal is talking, I'm like, they literally like to just attack her one-on-one when it don't, it's like 4 or 5 of them and it only literally concerns one of them. And in this case, the whole dark comment had nothing to do with you. And the person that was involved, it was like, yeah, we are cool. We don't have to talk about this. This is from last year. Y'all and had a whole segment
They're cool.
about why is this okay? I'm sorry there are no orphans and widows involved, Erica.
And even for Andy to say, I care because I had to spend 3 episodes watching it. Close your eyes, go feed Ben. Go feed
Girl,
Lucy.
it's like, then go, how about you go watch these other shows that you do reunions because you don't watch the show? How about you go do that? So instead of taking 3 episodes to watch Beverly Hills, how about you watch a few episodes of Below Deck because you don't know who the fuck these people are? Go watch Family Karma because you don't know who the fuck they are. Why don't you go watch these shows?
Go watch Atlanta, okay?
It's like because you don't watch the show. It's like literally okay, you something else.
And this is my thing, you know, Stephanie. I said this to Taria when I was talking to her yesterday about it. There are things. Crystal was the only minority in that conversation because the conversation was Sutton, Crystal, and Kyle.
Correct.
2 white women and Crystal, an Asian American woman. Okay, there are things all the time that white people say to minorities, and we are all like that. They think make them sound so woke and so worldly, and they're like, oh, this is really gonna, they are trying to be like, oh, you know, I don't even want to say they're trying to make us feel safe because I don't think it's about us. I think it's about them saying, oh, you know, I'm not racist. Just so you know, I'm not racist. And just so we're clear, I've never called anybody out for saying something racist or, you know, not misogynistic, microaggressive to me. And they've been like, yeah, I am a racist. Yeah, I am super microaggressive. Yes, you're right. They've never said that. It's always an argument. It's always why they didn't do it. So let's get that very clear. But Crystal was the minority in that conversation. It is oftentimes white people say things that they think are going to bring us together and unify the world and blah, 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 and make us feel more comfortable. And it really just makes us feel more uncomfortable. Okay.
Correct.
It really does. And we're like, okay. I think that hot tub, pool, whatever conversation, I think it's very fucking cringy. If Sutton said that around me, I would be like, okay. I would be like, maybe do a fake yawn and be like, woo,
well, it's time for me to go. Ooh,
I think I need to
just go to bed.
Wash my hair.
I got to do this skin routine. Where's Jay's roller, child?
I would say, oh, thank y'all. You know, this first night was so fun. Thank you much. I'll see you. What time are the eggs in the morning? I would. And I would have exited that conversation a little bit earlier. And I commend Crystal because even when I would not have stayed. I wouldn't have engaged in that conversation. And maybe that's, you know, cowardice on me. But sometimes I don't have the energy, but I especially don't have the energy when I know I don't have anybody in my corner around me. And make no mistake, what I mean by in my corner is black.
Right.
Black.
The only person that I say, like, I can understand you going, girl, you need to explain this to me, is actually Garcelle. because Garcelle is her friend. It's like the only person that can be like, let me actually talk to you about this is Garcelle. She's like, girl, if you were saying that she said something racist, my black ass need to know what the hell just happened.
Exactly. And Garcelle said that now, and I want to differentiate because it bothered me to watch all of those women, all of those white women jump on Crystal like that. Garcelle did not join in the jump.
She sure enough didn't.
I still don't like, her saying, because that it centers her, she centers herself in that a little bit by saying, I need to know, which is fair. But I just feel like the conversation could have taken place in a different. I do feel like, I have had people come to me before and say, oh, so-and-so said something insensitive. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And that's for me to decide if that person's my friend and I want to move forward and how I find that. Okay. But what's not for me is to say that's not dark.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And I think that's what happens when Crystal trips over her words, but y'all don't give her the space to just go, this is what I meant. And y'all wouldn't even do that. But she did it with Diana. It's like
she has no space whatsoever.
Like, and that's, I'm like, I get it. Teddy is your friend.
Even with the 14 friends thing, even the way they chopped that up and tried, I understood.
I knew exactly what she
Crystal
was
trying to, what she was trying to say. I understood. Yeah. Kyle, me thinks is Kyle obviously knows some of these women. She knows
because allegedly involves Teddy.
Kyle, yes, and Kyle was doing her little research because she needs to know all the ins and outs because she acts like she is the grande dame of Beverly Hills and she needs to be aware of everybody's comings and goings and falling outs and falling ins with friends and everything. I want to know what type of friend you are. Okay, shut the fuck up. Find out. Fuck around and find out. Well, be the person that fucks around and finds out, like the graph says. Okay. Correct. But I understood what she was saying. The friendship wasn't that strong in the first place, probably. And she probably had feelings of, these things coming up. And I'd be willing to bet they're all white women. Okay. And feelings surrounding these friendships. And then she got the show. For Kyle to say some of them have been offered to be on the show. Okay.
Yeah, one of them was one of them was fired too, Kyle.
And either they declined because they think a certain type of way of the show, or they did their test shoots, their testing, their test run, and they didn't get it. Okay. Correct. Either way, they probably feel some type of way about the show. So what she's saying is it already wasn't a great relationship. And then when she got on the show, that's really when things took a nosedive. That's all she's saying.
That's the thing. And that's how I thought. That's how I took it. I'm like, I knew what she was saying. Because she was like, yeah, she didn't know Rinna before the show. So no, she wasn't talking about this is how they did after the show. I'm like, she met Rinna after she did the show. And Rinna said, girl, you just got here. You're in for a whole lot more. I knew what she was saying, but Kyle, you want to be passive aggressive because Teddy used to be her friend.
And you think that you have ownership over this space. Like, and Kyle thinks she has ownership over this space and she just simply doesn't. Okay, like, I know you've been here for a long time. You won't let us forget. I know you've been here a long time, but that doesn't mean you have ownership. That doesn't mean that you are the judge, the jury, and the executioner when it comes to the people who come into this group. Right. It really seems like Kyle has it out for Crystal.
She does. And it's like, girl, it's like, if we didn't know then, we damn sure know now.
And Kyle says like, oh, this is such a bad reunion for me. And I know that we haven't even gotten into the Kathy Hilton of it all yet. And I know that's why Kyle's saying that. But even watching that first part, I wanted to be like, Kyle, this is really why this right here has to do with why it's so bad.
This is why Kathy don't fuck with your ass and she be trying to dig in your ass.
Okay. And then
she don't fuck with you.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad Garcelle snapped at her. I really am, because the way it was so triggering to me also though to watch when Garcelle said, wait a minute, are you kidding me? Okay, and she's like,
are you kidding me? I'm like, thank you.
The way Kyle tried to, just the body language, Garcelle, yes, she turned towards you, but then she also leaned back. Then Kyle wanted to be like, me, like Garcelle was about to swing on her. She's not about to swing on you, girl.
Ma'am, she's saying, what, me? Yes, you were the lousy bitch who just spoke up. She wasn't talking to you. And the thing I noticed, like, nobody was saying anything because one, y'all should have known that was out of pocket. It's like, do not sit here like, well, I mean, protect her family from what?
But why?
Like, okay, if she's not involved, why the fuck are they doing stuff in her name?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that
Exactly.
don't make no lick of sense. And I'm like, girl,
Now,
fuck you.
do I think Diana is stupid enough to get the bots herself?
No.
But do I think her fiancés, so and so, so and so, so and so, do I think if we dug deep enough we could tie it back to her? Yeah.
It's like, girl, it's like, you better stop trying to piss on me and tell me that it's rain. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
now you're like, oh, I have an investigation. How long ago was that? Diana, allegedly, you have long money. Your investigation could have been over by now. Do not
Mm-hmm.
come to me about, oh, I'm doing an investigation. Oh, I'm doing a charity to raise money for widows and orphans. Open your purse. Purse first. Open your purse. Just give the fucking money. I don't need you to do no pomp and circumstance and do some kind of like, see, I'm gonna do something about it. Girl, shut up. Like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to like do all of this. It is not even necessary. Y'all don't give a fuck about Garcelle, nor her son, nor Crystal. And this is the last part we're talking about, Crystal and her disordered eating. I don't give
Oh
a good
God.
goddamn. Dorit, I no. That's what you think? Yes, you raggedy bitch. That is what she thinks, because that is what I thought. I'm like, it don't sound like y'all really talking about
And,
this because y'all care. It sounds like a
mm-hmm.
plot point, because why didn't y'all reach out to Crystal?
Mm-hmm. And
If
it's
she
not
said she
even,
saw it in the show, none of y'all
mm-hmm.
reached out to her.
Yeah, and not even Dorit didn't even turn around and say, "Oh my gosh, Crystal. Oh my gosh,
I
honey.
did. It's like,
Honey, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. And you know that,
mm-hmm,
and I'm so
the
sorry."
typical
Because you
thing
know
that she
that,
usually
yeah,
does.
that's not what even she did. She turned around, she mouth agape, okay, and was like, "No, but you told me," and she made an excuse. And I said this yesterday on my show. She went from a pebble to a stone to a branch, then over across the river to finally say, "Okay, well, I'm sorry."
Girl.
She made every excuse for her in the book. There's no excuse for that. Okay. I honestly don't care if Crystal would have said that on camera. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't, in front of everybody. Beyond, oh gosh, everybody getting together and saying, "Oh, it really broke my heart what Crystal shared to us. Maybe we should do something for her."
That would have been so much
Beyond
different.
that, beyond that,
Mm-hmm.
anything else you bitches had to say was inappropriate.
You're like,
Like
oh
how
my
you
gosh, she
almost said
told
that.
you that? I'm like, did any of you reach out to them? Nope.
Literally sitting in a room with everybody except for Crystal and saying, if something of that so that serious too, it's not Crystal told me she got the other Birkin. That's not
Right.
what we're talking about here.
At all. It's like
That's not
y'all
what, and
did not care.
I feel so badly because I think that Crystal does open up to them a little bit more because she thinks she's trying. She's like, maybe if I try harder,
Mm-hmm.
then I can mend this relationship and get no, but that's not it. That's just not it whatsoever. You are not in a safe space, baby. You are
Baby,
not in a safe space.
you are not. Because even when they had the after show,
Mm-hmm.
and then you saw them talking about her eating disorder and you didn't see her, I'm like, this don't make me feel okay. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next episode you see like they gave it like it's just her talking about it, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, that's the least y'all can do, because this actually is for her. Y'all do not care. And the fact that none of you said to Erica, you are dead ass wrong to be saying that.
Yep.
Oh, well, what I meant is, no, you're Kyle, why you not button in and say, well, Erica, I think if you're saying that to someone with an eating disorder, please don't think that has not come to her mind. She has an eating disorder. Why would you say that? And you're actually trying to just sit there and justify it. See, this is why you're a raggedy bitch now.
Exactly. And then I mean, honestly, even if you ask me, it I don't know. I don't know where I stand with Andy because we all saw him, excuse me, that he, made the claps or whatever of when Renna posted the biggest bully in Hollywood and he clapped. Okay. And
Lord.
then, excuse me, he deleted it. And then somebody hopped on there and said, "Oh, I think what y'all are missing is that Andy doesn't take it that deep." And that was very clear to me. It's
Very.
very clear to me while I watch these two women of color sit on a stage with their white castmates and their white boss and be constantly misunderstood and questioned for things that we have never questioned the white women in this group about.
Ever.
It made it very clear to me that Andy doesn't think it's that serious.
It's like you can.
I understand that. I don't think, and I cannot stress this enough, I don't think that the death threats and everything like that are ever okay.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I want to make clear is we are not dealing with the type of racism
Mm-hmm.
and microaggressions and insensitivities on other franchises like we are at Beverly Hills. And then when we were in New York, guess where we ended up? It is baffling to me that they don't care to get ahead of this whatsoever.
Nope. Because even with Dallas, it was like this was after the whole reunion left, and then y'all didn't even bring Dallas back.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people like, well, this is Tiffany Moon's fault. Girl, as someone who watched Dallas, I can almost guarantee you it's not her fault.
And same thing with New York. Well, this is Ebony's fault.
This is Ebony's fault. I'm like, I can almost guarantee you that the bloom is off the rose in New York because now you're finding out when they're locked inside and can't go to work, they are dull as dishwater.
Exactly. Exactly. And the
I
thing
got
about
rid
New
of
York is you
Dorinda.
love,
It's like, come on. No.
you love seeing the women in New York go out and about and be in New York.
And now they can't go nowhere.
Exactly. And Ramona is racist.
Right. Ramona
okay,
is
but
like, girl,
Ramona's
it's the
not
same person.
Ramona is
Shame
not
on.
missing any coin. Let's be very
Absolutely
fucking clear.
not.
I find it very, and maybe this is up to Ebony. I don't know. I don't know where she stands. You know what I mean? Why is she not at BravoCon, but Ramona is?
Oh.
At least, unless I just haven't seen anything. But I don't see Ebony sitting on any panels.
Nope.
I've seen Ramona on a couple already.
I've seen Ramona. Of course, I've seen Dorinda, Joe Zarin. I think Leah is there because we got Girls Trip 3, so of course she's there. I haven't seen Luann.
And it is, as somebody with a well, I need to be careful what I say there. As somebody who is in the midst of some things from being fired unfairly.
Oh.
I got legal advice. Okay. And what the lawyer said to me was, I want to give you the best advice I can. So, and he said, and I want to equip you for what, how this could go. Because and he said it, he was very cut and dry. He said, you can fire somebody for not getting along with other people. You can fire somebody for, their attitude. But you can't fire somebody for being Black or for being a woman or, their race and or gender or religious beliefs.
Sure.
He said, but a lot of times the issue is these companies and people just rely on, okay, she didn't get along with so-and-so. She didn't get along with so-and-so. It's not because she's Black, it's because she didn't get along with everybody. If you want to make that a case, Ebony argued with people the same way I've watched Luann, Sonia, everybody argue with people along across the years. So what's the difference? Because Luann and Sonia are arguing about who sat on Harry's dick first.
If Luann fucked a pirate.
Okay, is that why it's fine? Because you shouldn't talk to me about who sat on my husband's dick first.
Yeah. Because it's like,
okay,
what the hell?
Because you are likely to get cussed out. And so that's my thing. I that's where I don't understand what people don't get. When we do the same thing everybody else does, it's a problem.
Correct.
But everybody else can do it. But it's just that's what it irks me. I'm seeing all these videos from BravoCon of Lisa Rinna teasing the reunion, and everyone's like, "Oh, she is a star. She is a star." It's just like it makes me sick because a lot of this shit, and I don't fucking care, like Rinna, whatever. A lot of this shit with Beverly Hills and stuff, it's just rooted in microaggressions and racism.
And then thank you for the sleuths who have brought up the old videos of Rinna thinking that a TMZ photographer was going to bust a cap in her because of his
It's tattoos. Just stupid.
And I'm sitting here like, baby, I just want to let y'all know this is not stupid. You. And the thing about it is like, if Garcelle wasn't on this show, she surely would say, it's like, oh, I can't be racist because I'm friends with Garcelle Beauvais. I'm like, are you now? Because you did say you were friends with Denise too.
Exactly. And not only that, okay. she has a colorful past because she said that, but then how she went after Star Jones.
Mm-hmm. And that's the
Okay.
thing, people forgot about that too. It's like,
I didn't.
oh yeah, because I didn't really watch Love Apprentice, so that's why it's so easy for me to disassociate. Can't say the word. So I was like, ah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
it's just it just irritates me so much. Like I don't I want to watch these shows and have a hunky dory time. And I hate to
mm-hmm.
say this, I really do. At some point when I watch Beverly Hills, I'm like, I just really wish that if this is what it was going to be like, we would have just kept the cast all white.
Correct. It's
And
like
I
you
don't
can't
mean I
just
want it
put
to stay.
just
I don't want it
yeah.
to stay like that. I'm just saying if I had a choice, then I would just rather keep it because I don't want to see any black woman. I don't want to see any Asian American woman. I don't want to see any woman of color go through those things.
Yeah. It's like I don't it's like because one, it seems like it's more pronounced when you now that you have black women and Asian women. It's like because it's like there have been other women of color, but they've been able to kind of like blend in somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like you can get a Brandy saying to Joyce, talking about her hair, like, oh, I got black friends, they don't get their hair wet. I'm like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? Or Luann putting on bronzer and an afro saying, I am Diana Ross. And it's like, if you really are a fan, you should know that there has never been a day that Miss Ross has ever had an afro. You
Mm-hmm.
raggedy heifer.
Exactly. And even when Brandy said that, oh, my black friends, they get their hair wet and they can't swim or whatever, those women acted like Brandy shouted the N-word from the rooftops. Now, did I feel a type of way about that comment? Yeah. But I actually feel more of a type of way about the treatment of these women of color now on this show than I did
Mm-hmm.
about Brandy saying that fucking stereotypical comment.
Yeah.
Like if we're keeping a buck, like I really fucking do. Okay. I do know how many times I've heard, oh, black people can't swim. Okay. No, I
Yeah.
can't swim.
Especially
I
when
can't
y'all
swim. All
don't
right.
want to actually give the historical context
I was
as
just
to
about to say, you want
why.
to talk about why we can't swim?
You want to talk about, or I remember I told somebody, it was like, they're like, oh, black people like butter pecan ice cream. You know, there's a reason for that, right?
There's a reason behind it all. And it
It
all
was,
stems
they're
from
like,
racism.
wait, what? I'm like, yeah, black people couldn't have vanilla ice cream. Butter pecan is the
Mm-hmm.
only thing we could have. They're like, what? I'm like, you did. I'm like, oh, and how black people like well done steak. I'm like, you know, there's a reason for that. It's not just because we are uncultured swine. People were literally trying to kill us. Like, girl, what are you
Poison.
talking about?
Mm-hmm. Now I
It's
do like my steak medium, just so we're clear.
I'm sorry, I'm a medium rare girl. I can't go back. I can't go back.
Mm-hmm. I do like my steak medium, just in case anybody was
You
wondering.
know, it's
Okay.
like me. I'm
But
like
no,
medium
yeah,
rare. Thank you, Tom Colicchio, because I was
yeah,
like, let me try it.
there's context, these things matter. It's
It
exhausting.
matters.
I'm really fucking exhausted. And I have said before that I see Real Housewives of Beverly Hills going into a Roni space, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I really don't know. You know what I mean? I felt like Andy had some really, moments in this Real
Definitely
Housewives of Beverly
cringe.
Hills.
Cringe
Okay.
Cohen. I got a
Because
lot
when
of
he
cringe
says,
Cohen.
I didn't think that it was that bad. You're white. He said two things to me that stuck out was when he said, I don't think that comment about the pool is that bad. Well, you're white. I understand that you are gay, Andy, but that doesn't mean that you would understand that conversation there. Just like if I were in a room with gay men, okay, there are
Mm-hmm.
some things that I wouldn't be well versed on. But what I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to do is say, I don't think that's that bad to say because why?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a gay man.
Right.
Okay. It's same thing, that can be applied all over the board. He said
Mm-hmm.
that. And then when he also said, well, I don't think it's problematic to request Michael Jackson. No, and I said this, I
Child. It's
have
like,
been in the
mm-mm.
black community is so torn. Okay. Because Michael Jackson is one of them topics for us. Okay.
It's like,
And
baby, it's like, you know, that tweet where they're saying, can you give a 40-minute dissertation? The
mhm.
discourse about Michael Jackson is one of mine.
It's so we are so torn, okay? But for Andy to say, I don't think it's that problematic, well,
And
you're also
also
a
to
person that
equate it to her
continues
being a millennial. I'm
millennial.
like,
Mm-hmm.
what are
Yeah.
you?
But also,
What?
Andy, you're a person who said out loud on a platform that you are not going to watch the Woody Allen documentary because you like him and you like his movies and you don't want it to be tainted. That man is a predator.
Literally, and that is not
Your
a millennial thing about what
ex-boyfriend had to
happened.
tell you, had to check you and tell you, don't say that, Andy.
Correct. It's like, girl, but you want to talk about like, oh, I can't. I'm like, I can't stop watching Woody Allen movies. So you know what being having something problematic, unless you be very clear. People's attachment to Woody Allen and his movies is extremely weird and
Weird.
extremely problematic.
Weird. Okay. It's really fucking weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm going to make it something very clear. Woody Allen, that's a very much so like a what in his movies. I'm saying that's such a white thing. Like the only thing I've ever known about Woody Allen is that he's a predator.
That's literally same. That's the only thing I
Only
knew. I'm
thing, that's
like,
the only thing I've
what's the name
never
of his
ever
movies?
fucking
I'm
known about
like,
him.
girl, I can't name one Woody Allen movie.
I could not
I can
tell
name
you
some people that's in it, but I don't know any of the movies. I don't know what they're about. It's probably about some rich Jewish guy who lives in one like in the boroughs in New York. Probably. I mean, I don't know.
Exactly.
That's all I know.
Exactly. And it's like, listen, I could have said like, I like for example, me and my husband watched a movie not too long ago, and I wasn't even present when the movie first came on, like whatever. And I probably wouldn't have paid attention anyways. But at the end, when after the credits rolled or whatever, and I looked and it said the Weinstein Corporation, I said, oh fuck. I said, that was a Weinstein movie. And he was like, damn, I didn't even realize that. Now I could don't ask me what movie it was, couldn't I don't even remember. I barely paid attention. But you know what I mean? I'm not saying go out of your way, but it's one of those things that it's like, I'm not going to say, well, I just watched a Weinstein movie the other day because I really liked it. I'm not arguing to continue to watch Weinstein movies.
I'm just saying it's prevalent.
Okay.
That's it. It's like, and if you don't like to say, it's like, oh, it's just because she's young. I'm like, girl, we're not going to, nope. Yeah. Part 1 is done. So
thank God.
We got 2 more parts. We're getting Kathy Hilton in part 2. So I'm like, is she gonna be bored? And so, you know, when they did like the flash forward, I'm like, so that means that Kathy is gonna be on both parts. If y'all saying,
oh, one more thing. Did you see the Never Before scenes
with Kyle?
Yes. I
get on my damn nerve.
Not only that, but I want to point something out. I forgot to say this on my podcast yesterday. I think, because make no mistake, I was after I saw those Never Before scenes, my juices, they started running. Okay, the brain started working overtime, and y'all already know how I feel. Okay, y'all know I'm a conspiracy about these housewives. All right. I still think that Kathy had a plan to take down Rinna, but once I saw that Never Before scene of Kyle, of Erica saying, and you even said to me, I'm happy other people are realizing or seeing what I see. And Kyle didn't even let her finish. She said that was in private. Now, I am still 50-50 on whether or not I think Kyle set Kathy up. But what I think, because Kyle is going so hard about the investigation and finding out who's leaking things and what is being said about the rant, what I think is I don't really think that Kathy cares about what was said getting out. I think Kyle cares about what was said getting out because she said something about Kyle that none of us know.
Correct.
Those cease and desist really I don't think Kathy gives a fuck about them. No. I think she said Kyle's business, and Kyle is the one that wants it shut down.
Yeah.
And so Kathy said, okay, I'll get them out for you and because she don't fucking care.
And that's the thing about that. When I saw that thing, it was like, I'm glad other people say it. I'm like, see, this is why the whole thing, I'm like, why is she not just saying, Rinna, stop this bullshit? Because she believes that Kathy said it. She believes Lisa Rinna.
And let's be clear, I believe Lisa Rinna too.
I'm like, girl.
I think Kathy said the shit. Okay, I would like to know more.
Right.
I want to know exactly.
Tell me more.
Because also, I don't know. This could be an editing thing. Maybe Lisa did go into it and it had to be edited out because of the cease and desist. Because I'm going to tell you what I think is in those manila envelopes too. It's just a bunch of bullshit screenshots and maybe the cease and desist itself.
Yeah.
I think the cease and desist are in those envelopes. I don't care.
I don't care either. It
I
was
don't
like
care. Kyle is playing this game dirty and it's getting messy.
very,
Okay. Because I realized I said, because I did. I said, the cease and desists aren't making sense to me just for nothing. And Kyle saying we launched an investigation because she was all over that. She was all over that. I think Kyle wanted people to see Kathy. I think she wanted them to see for what she really was, but she didn't. I don't think she anticipated what was going to come out of Kathy's mouth. And let me tell you something. When you set up somebody who's a wild card like that, who is when they get mad, that mouth be running, because mine is the same way. You want to set me up, but you might want to tread lightly.
Tread lightly with me.
Because now your shit is on blast. And I also find it weird that Kyle said Mauricio was in the house when that happened.
So why is this like, how come he didn't hear anything? How come nothing has come up? It's like, he a heavy sleeping lie. It's like, you know what? You like Kyle, girl. And it's so very interesting. It's like, that was private. But what Crystal said to Dorit was private, and yet she had no problem telling them.
Yep.
It's like, y'all are so weird about this private. It's like, because you actually, you want to act like it really bothers you. I'm like, no, because you believe her. You believe Rinna when she said, oh, she trashed you. But I remember when it became like, Kathy said something homophobic, and they implicated Sutton's assistant that wasn't even there. And now we've walked away from, she said something homophobic. Now it's like, we're not even talking about that. I'm like, how very interesting, because the main person saying, nope, it happened, was Rinna. Rinna don't give a fuck about you, Kyle. She don't care about your relationship with your sisters. That's why she has no problem literally going gutter ball low when you literally should be mourning the death of your mother. You have bigger things to worry about. Kathy Hilton and their complicated, toxic ass sisterhood is none of your concern, but yet here you are making it your business, Miss Mention It All.
Exactly.
It's like, Miss Own It. How about you go own a therapist and get off people's nerves?
For the love of God, please. Okay. Why don't you own a couple therapists? Because your daughter on TikTok asking us to ask you. She asked us to ask you. Okay. Now let's talk. I mean, did you send your own daughter a cease and desist? Because she took that down and we never heard about it again.
Okay.
What happened there, Lisa?
Okay.
I cannot believe that happened. And we had a whole season. Are you going to try and tell us that that's a private family matter?
Hello.
Are you going to try? Because if you want to go there and you want to say, well, Kathy did that to me. Delilah put that on the internet.
Hello.
She made it all of our business now. We went a whole season without saying, we didn't even mention it.
Excuse me. Hello. It's like, girl, how about we start talking about you as a mother and why your daughters are like, oh my God, I don't want to take no videos because you put me on the internet. We only did this because you said you weren't going to do it. And here it is. You lying to your own children. They're like, girl, don't put me in your damn social media because you are ridiculous. But y'all, we have recapped part 1. We get 2 more parts. Lord have mercy. Pray and I am pray for us. And when I tell you I'm waiting for Kathy to turn into Big Kathy on Lisa Rinna, I want her to make her cry like Kim does. It's like, I was not a Kim Richards fan, and now I'm at this point like, please bring Kim Richards back. I don't, that's the thing. I tell her, I'm like, I didn't like Kim Richards on the show initially. Now I'm like, nope, bring her back because Kathy's coming back. So guess what? Bring her back.
Two reasons I think that Kim Richards won't be on the show. One, I really think it's bad for her health. I really think it's bad for her health. Like, I really do. But 2, I don't think Kyle wants both of her sisters on the show. And I think that she would be, because do you think that that hasn't been brought up to her? Do you really, honestly, truly think that hasn't been, they haven't toyed with that? I think Kyle is like, no. Okay. And the thing is, you have to think of the lesser of 2 evils, because I wouldn't be shocked if Kyle said, I won't be on here. I will leave. And they said, well, we know what we're getting with Kyle. She's, she's always performed well. Kyle has never had her, time, and
she's never had her comeuppance. She really hasn't.
She's just been there, and she's been a staple of the franchise and things like that for a long time.
Yeah.
But she has never had a season that was centered around her in a good or bad way.
Yeah.
She is very much so just there.
Yeah. She has that. It's like, it's kind of like, girl, your season is coming. And if Kim comes back in like a friend of capacity, just like Kathy, that will be enough. Like, please knock her off. It's like the fact that this is the first reunion where they did not take a group photo. I'm like, girl. Like, sure. But y'all, I think we have a show. So thank you so much for being here. It was like outside of the group chat in the Instagram DMs, like, girl, I know you saw this, but what I want to know is oh my gosh, please tell everybody how they can find you and find the show. I asked. If you're asking who asked her, I did.
People come for me all the time. They just don't find me. I don't know why that just but no, you can find me at Who Asked Me Podcast on Instagram. And then if you want to follow my personal page, it's at Zelle's Life, SELLES Life. And then if you want to find me on TikTok, I am on the TikTok, okay. Under the same thing, at Zelle's Life. And then you can buy me a coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com/Who Asked Me Podcast 0.
Yay! So I will be back on Milk Minutes next week. I'm finding some other Beverly Hills lovers like us, but because of the tone of the first part, I'm like, oh no, Zoe got to be here. I'm like, no, because y'all wanted Garcelle activated. Now you got it, because I swear, I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? Y'all got what y'all wanted. That's what y'all wanted. But y'all, I'll be back next week.
Bye.